The more Atlanta grows, the more the fluctuation of prices, expansion, and placement of newly renovated housing and rent will increase. This leads to gentrification, which leads to a cycle of displacement, which then leads to rapid demographic shifting. Gentrification is due to the increased cost to live in a neighborhood because of higher rents, increasing land values, higher taxes, and investor flipping. Decreased affordable housing inventory, increasing number of vacant properties, and redevelopment of affordable housing stock with less affordable and infill development are all contributing factors. Gentrification has a strong influence on homelessness in our city. Although gentrification may make the streets safer and create more jobs, the negative effects outweigh the positive. More than 10,000 people in Metro Atlanta experience homelessness on any given night. More than 40% of those people are women and children. Atlanta is the poorest city in the U.S. for children. More children in Atlanta live in poverty than in any other city. As of 2015, the city of Atlanta had 1,037 unsheltered homeless people, 3,280 sheltered homeless people, which are those using emergency and transitional housing, and 4,317 total homeless people in the city, with only 3,906 total emergency and transitional beds, leaving 411 individuals constantly without shelter. Atlanta is named one of the top 10 cities being gentrified the fastest in 2015, and public housing in Atlanta has mostly been demolished. Gentrification is a fancy word for a poor community evolving into a trendy, hipster-like community. Wealthy residents change the identity of a neighborhood by hiking up the price of rent, which then forces poor people to move out as they cannot pay to live in that community any longer. Down the road, these people become homeless. Gentrification promotes segregation, forces families to leave their homes, increases homelessness, and changes the face of a community completely. If the residents are unable to pay the rising rent and are ordered to leave, who really wins? Journalist Jenna Skull recollected her thoughts from visiting California, saying, "From the west coast to the east coast, it seems like this great country of ours is sort of in a pickle. I'll never forget the scenic views I witnessed in San Francisco, but then again, I'll never forget the faces of hundreds without a home either." Dramatic changes are playing out across parts of urban America, making many neighborhoods hardly recognizable from a relatively short time ago. A new class of more affluent residents is moving into once underinvested and predominantly poor communities. Development has followed, typically accompanied by sharp increases in housing prices that can displace a neighborhood's longtime residents.
To assess the extent to which gentrification has reshaped urban communities, Governing analyzed census tract data for the nation's 50 largest cities. Main findings from the neighborhoods examined included gentrification greatly accelerated in several cities. Nearly 20% of neighborhoods with lower incomes and home values have experienced gentrification since 2000, compared to only 9% during the 1990s. Gentrification still remains rare nationally, with only 8% of all neighborhoods reviewed experiencing gentrification since the 2000 census. Compared to lower income areas that failed to gentrify, gentrifying census tracts recorded increases in the non-Hispanic white population and declines in the poverty rate. A prime example of gentrification in our state is the Old Fourth Ward, which includes Pond City Market and the Beltline. The key elements that will be developed over the life of the Atlanta Beltline project are 22 miles of pedestrian-friendly rail transit, 33 miles of multi-use trails, 1,300 acres of parks, 5,600 units of affordable housing, 1,100 acres of brown fields remediated, $10 to $20 billion in economic development, 30,000 permanent jobs, 48,000 one-year construction jobs, public art, historic preservation, and sustainability. The Beltline will create a network of public parks, multi-use trails, and transit along a historic 22-mile railroad corridor, circling downtown and connecting 45 neighborhoods directly to each other. The argument here is twofold. The Beltline runs through communities such as the Old Fourth Ward and Reynoldstown that have been traditionally working class and African American, but which have already begun to be transformed by largely white, middle-class urban newcomers who fix up the housing stock and raise property values, eventually pricing out the older residents because of rising property taxes and rents. Today, there is less than 50% black residents in the Old Fourth Ward. Kroger, off of Ponce de Leon Avenue, was a national landmark known for its notorious crime amidst its uprising neighborhood. Located along the Beltline and beside Pond City Market, Kroger did their best to spruce up their building and make it blend in with the rest of its surroundings. However, their attempts failed, and in 2016 it was demolished, making way for the new residential and commercial project known as 725 Ponce, adding to the overwhelming gentrification taking place. As far as solutions go, ATL is Ready is an innovative social impact network of grassroots organizations, student activists, community organizers, millennial leaders, and regular people. The ATL is Ready Equity Crisis Policy Priorities paper recommends to replace the area median income with neighborhood median income to accurately measure the need for affordable housing. ATL is Ready demands public accountability for intentionally disadvantaging low/working class families by demolishing public housing and contributing to the regional inequity crisis. In New York, as DNA Info reported, Mayor Bill de Blasio's zoning plan has been approved by the City Council, part of his effort to create or preserve a total of 200,000 affordable housing units by 2024. The features of the measure include zoning for quality and affordability, an effort to enable more affordable housing and senior housing by eliminating parking requirements and increasing building heights, and mandatory inclusionary housing, which will rezone communities and mandate affordable housing. Ann E. Casey Foundation, along with others, are working to ensure neighborhoods in Southwest Atlanta do not face same levels of displacement as East Atlanta. This involves efforts such as acquiring vacant homes to revitalize them and move in stable working class citizens, with restrictions on future sale price, workforce training, tax stabilization, and education on property values to avoid homeowners selling to house flippers. We must stop the negative effects of gentrification and ensure that there are ways to improve the neighborhood while including the existing residents.